Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the SIG Sauer Studios. On the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
The enemies of freedom exist all day, every day, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Walters sitting here in the SIG Sauer Studios in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication Command Center microphone. All of it being brought to you by X Insurance and all of our great partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. If you want to watch us live today on any social media platform, you can look us up on Twitter at AARMark. Follow us. Many of you are doing that. We appreciate that. Facebook.com/armedamericanradio. You can catch us, Armed American Radio, on Rumble and Armed American Radio on YouTube. TikTok will be being added in the very near future. Yeah, we're going to go down that route, I guess, very soon. And if you want to participate in the chat, just get you the Telegram messaging app, and you can search for Armed American Radio Conversations. In addition to that, you can chat in all those other forums that we just mentioned. We appreciate it if you do so. Please like and share the posts. Let's go right to our guest, Lee the Gunwriter Williams. How you doing today, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Well, you know, I'm a little confused today, Lee.
Why is that?
The ATF. Well, I'm confused anyway, right? But, you know, we've been talking for the last few days about Kash Patel bringing 1,000 ATF agents over from ATF to FBI. Kash Patel is out publicly stating that report on CNN is a bunch of BS, that it's not true.
Yeah, if that is the case, if CNN came up with that on their own, oh my God.
Well,
I mean, they're talking about making up your own news stories.
Yeah, so let's go there a little bit. Nobody that I know anyway has been harder on the ATF than you, with good reason, obviously. And again, for discussion purposes, we've talked about this report, you know, moving 1,000 ATF agents over to FBI, double-edged sword, maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to view this. But according to Kash Patel, it's not true. CNN report is not true. So what does that mean? I mean, I'm asking you seriously, what does that mean? Okay, let's go down the rabbit holes.
Okay, seriously, there's no way an ATF agent could operate as an FBI agent. FBIs are much better trained, much more thoroughly trained, they're smarter, and they have a definable federal law enforcement role. ATF, not so much. I mean, most of the guys that really did well, we're talking years ago, they would infiltrate a biker gang, something like that. But nowadays, most of these ATF guys that I've talked to and that I've met aren't close to FBI. There's no way they could take on an FBI investigation, which, by the way, can last for 4 or 5 years. They don't have the suck. They don't have the knowledge how to do that. They're used to sitting in their office and waiting for a phone call from a local or a statewide law enforcement agency who says, hey, we got this guy, and he's a felon, and he's got a pistol. At which point the ATF runs him, finds out, yeah, he shouldn't have that pistol, he's a felon, and then they put out a press release and take credit for it. That is what the ATF does. To want to bring them on board and get them involved in major investigations, especially anything having to do with national security, which is also the FBI's bailiwick, I think that would be monumentally stupid. I'd like to take all of the current ATF agents and make them civilians, kick them out, fire them. That's what they have demonstrated that organization deserves. They should not be cashing federal dollars and cashing federal paychecks anymore. Look at what they have done. Look at the innocent lives that were ruined after Waco. How many people died? After Ruby Ridge. I mean, these guys, look at Professor Bryan. I mean, they just shot him in his home. Yeah, I have zero sympathy for ATF. They should not be. They should stop collecting federal dollars.
Well, you're right, and I agree with you on all of that. Now, but I want to switch gears here because all of us have been reporting, not just here, but across the spectrum. All right, so let me just go to a report from who is this from? Is this one of these goofy? It might be a Yahoo News piece, but that's okay. but it's from First on Fox. FBI Director Kash Patel is strongly refuting a CNN report alleging he is implementing a major cutback of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives in a memo to ATF employees. CNN reported Saturday that Patel has outlined, quoting, plans to move as many as 1,000 ATF agents to the FBI and cutting ATF's agents by more than a third. The move represents a major cutback to the ATF, an agency that has long been in the crosshairs of gun rights groups that believe its work infringes on Second Amendment rights. That's from CNN. The ATF has about 2,600 agents and more than 5,000 employees, a number that has remained largely unchanged for years. After publication of the story and resulting pushback, including from Republican allies, FBI officials began to back off aspects of their plan, according to a U.S. official familiar with the matter. Patel, who is currently serving as acting director of the ATF, issued a memo to ATF denying the CNN report. I want to address a report, ladies and gentlemen, this is from Kash Patel himself. I want to address a report from this weekend speculating about the intentions of FBI leadership with personnel decisions at the ATF. This weekend, CNN reported news of a plan on the part of our leadership to cut as many as one-third of ATF agents and reallocate 1,000 agents over to the FBI. The report even suggests that our leadership team altered course after reading a news report and ultimately backed off certain aspects of changes. This report is entirely false. The fake news will never be responsible for operational command authority over the ATF. We are. The brave men and women of the ATF who courageously dedicate themselves to protecting the American public will not have their security jeopardized by the media's disinformation campaigns. When we make decisions, they will be final, regardless of the input of CNN or any other news organization. Lee, that's quite the statement from Kash, which takes everything we've talked about based off of that report and throws cold water on it, does it not?
Yeah, it certainly does. It's somewhat worrisome, I would say, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but let's talk about why it's worrisome. What makes that worrisome?
I want to hear that the ATF is going to be done. I want to hear that they're going to be done today. Okay?
Realistically, that's going to take an act of Congress. You're right about all of that. But what does it say about the CNN? And look, I sit here and I think we should know better. We should know not to believe anything that comes from these people. But when you've got a report
100%.
like that, you would think. Now, I don't know where they got their information, obviously, at this stage, because we've got to backtrack and look back at this report and go, okay, so it's all bullshit, taki mushrooms. That's what it is. And Kash Patel made that very clear. He also spoke very highly of the ATF agents. This was a memo sent to the ATF. And, of course, he lambasted CNN in the process, which is always fun to do. But what can we believe at this stage of the game? What do people like you and I have to do? AWR Hawkins has written about it. Alan Gottlieb and I have talked about it. There have been press releases out about it.
Yeah, there have. I don't know.
Was it intentional?
Okay, I don't know Kash's media sophistication level. I honestly don't. I would hope that what he says is the truth. We know when he's talking about CNN and their lack of fortitude and their lack of truth-telling, we know all that's true.
Right.
But in this specific case, there was a lot of detail in those stories.
There was. Which we all find out now, according to Kash, is a bunch of bunk.
Yeah.
See, there's a disconnect here.
Again.
Okay. This something here isn't making sense. There's a disconnect here.
Clearly.
Somebody get out ahead of their skis? Was this leaked? Experience would tell me that this could possibly have been a leaked report to CNN, and this is Kash's response to a leaked report because it didn't come from him or his staff before it got out.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I mean, I
don't know. We don't know. Speculation at this point.
And to throw it all at CNN, which they totally deserve, in a situation where they may be partially right, although I don't know. It's confusing as hell.
Yeah, I don't... just from experience, it would seem to me that it could possibly be a leaked report that really Kash and those at the FBI went, ruh-roh, how'd that get out? You know? But I don't know. I don't know that we're going to know that. I haven't seen anything from CNN about it other than a few other news outlets talking about the fact that Kash refuted the CNN report. So there's that. I don't know. We'll continue the conversation when we come back. Interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's a never-ending ball game, okay? There's no ninth inning here. It's just ongoing every single day forever. We're talking with Lee the Gunwriter Williams. We'll be back with Lee right after this. We have 3 more segments to go on your Tuesday. Don't go away.
All clear. I'll be
following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, come on back in with me. Mark Walters here in the 6 Hour Studios. If you're watching on your devices or screens or TVs or whatever it is, this is Patriot Mobile phone. Go get you one, too. It's real simple. Take your phone that you currently have, port the number over. You can do that at patriotmobile.com/AAR, patriotmobile.com/AAR. And Lee from Patriot Mobile is going to be here for the first half of Friday's show coming up. She wants to follow up with us on that rally that she attended. She was bringing her, she was live there when we spoke to her last couple weeks ago. So we'll be talking with Lee from Patriot Mobile coming up on Friday. That's Lee. She's a she. It's Leigh, Leigh, right now in the 6 Hour Studios on this Patriot Mobile mic brought by X. We're talking to Lee, Lee, the gunwriter Williams, and Lee is a he. Lee, you got pronouns? You want to clarify that for us?
No, I and me.
I and me, right? How about
100%.
Man and man? There you go. Me, man. There you go. There's Lee, the gunwriter Williams. So, Lee, one more thing. Let's put an exclamation point on this CNN deal because I had Stephen Gutowski on the program this weekend on Sunday a couple days ago. And, of course, he's a CNN contributor. And we talked at length about the ATF report. And he is a paid CNN contributor as well as the founder of The Reload, reporting on this every day. And it's interesting because he has not yet put anything up at The Reload as of this live airing right now. So and I have not spoken to Stephen yet, but I'm looking forward to it because he's going to write about this. There's no question about it because he is a paid CNN contributor. And I can't wait to get his take on this. But what that tells us, ladies and gentlemen, I guess, Lee, you know this. I mean, you stick your hand in that CNN cookie jar, one too many times, you're going to get bit by something, right? But did we all just get taken for a ride? Is that what happened?
I'm guessing either that or our new AG, it was a little too stern in his response. I mean, you can go after CNN all day long. I don't care. But if they had the facts right, and I don't know. We'll see. Let's put it that way. We'll see.
We're just going to have to watch this unfold.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, you have a breaking story. I want to go there in just a second. But before I do, are you disappointed that the Snopes case has not yet been granted cert because it was back in conference for the 8th or 9th time last Friday and still no news on that case?
Snopes is going to happen. It will get cert. There's no reason why they would keep putting it on the list.
I hope you're right. I remain.
So do I.
Maybe at this point overly optimistic, but I do remain. I say overly in the sense that better than 75% optimistic that it gets heard. Again, I think there's been ample time, but I just want to get your perspective on that because we're all following this, and yet nothing. And it's disappointing because, we tend to want things done yesterday. We all do. Give it to me now. Give me the Epstein list. Get everything out there. I want it all. I want to know everything. Are UFOs real? Tell me what you've been lying to me about, okay? Kennedy, King. I want it all, particularly that Epstein client list. I want to know where Rob Reiner fell on that list, if he's on it at all, okay? I don't know if he is, but I want to know. Good heavens. Anyway, having said that, Lee, you have a breaking story out there right now. It's going to be publishing tomorrow about a gun club suing a military gun range or suing a military range over fees. What's up?
It's good news. It is good news. I wrote a story about it in 2020 when the Fort Devens Rifle and Pistol Club, Inc., that's a small civilian group, they've been shooting at Fort Devens for decades. I mean, decades. Club members, they had their own targets. They'd bring their own ammo. They'd bring their own range safety officers and other supplies. They picked up their own brass. Most of the club members are veterans, so they're intimately familiar with range protocol and what you do and what you don't do. To be clear, man, in terms of taxpayer dollars, they cost the sport very little, which is why they were incredibly surprised in 2022 when the fort began charging them. They were notified that now they would have to pay $250 per range and that fees would increase based on the number of shooters. Well, the club has more than a few attorneys on it, as you can imagine, and they filed suit against the fort, and they just won. I mean, Jim Gettins is my contact with the club. He's a retired attorney. And he assisted in the legal fight, and he said it was a David versus Goliath victory. And I got to quote him because this is the best way. He said they were running an illegal profiteering racket. That's the best way to describe it. This is a landmark case. It turns out there's a couple of federal statutes that won't let the government charge anything for club access to ranges.
Well, that was going to be my next question because I didn't know the answer to that. Can the fort not charge? Apparently not.
Yeah,
of federal law.
They're not supposed to charge. Yet they charge the club. Well, given the fact that there's all this trouble going on, they're also charging the hell out of non-DOD law enforcement officers, state police, municipal police. They're paying out the butt for all these costs. And who pays for that? We do, the residents who live there through their taxes. Also, ICE, FBI, U.S. Customs, other federal agencies are paying out the butt for their time on the range. Now, I tried to talk to the U.S. attorney who lost the case, Julian N. Canzaroni, and I'm just playing games with his public affairs person. I don't think they're going to let me talk to him. But this was a clear victory, brother.
So were they charging the other agencies as well?
Yes.
Okay, so the other agencies are government agencies, which are being funded by our tax dollars.
And they're paying for tax dollars. I mean, dude, they had one thing where they bring a porta potty out to the range. It cost the range like $3. They tried to charge the gun club like $50, and cops are gladly paying $140 a day for it. It's crap like that.
I guess it's crap like that. I guess if you got to go, you got to go. It's worth the money. Now, Fort Devon is in Worcester, Mass. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's close to, yeah. Yeah.
Right, so this is a New England range. Not that has anything to do with anything, because it's federal, not state.
No.
If it were state, I could absolutely see the shenanigans going on from the state. Now, how much money are we talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your money. So Lee Williams is Elon Musk doging it up over here for us, brother.
Well, they were going to
at least the gun club is.
And the club said, no way, we're not coming out. So they haven't been shooting because, it's an old club, but it's not a huge club.
Right.
And they don't have thousands and thousands of dollars because, you go out there, you shoot 2 ranges, there's 500. 3 ranges, there's 750. So they won it. And, brother, they pointed out that, this thing, they began getting trouble from the range only 3 days after Joe took office in 2022. And they also pointed out this would never have happened under President Trump. I think they're right on both counts.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. We're being told we're taking a break. When we come back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, because this is federal, that's where I want to go with you when we come back, Lee, is where did this come from? And will it continue? Obviously, it's not going to continue. I'm surprised, it's not like you're going to hear about this in a lot of different circles. This is the first I'm hearing about it. But it would certainly make sense when it's coming out of a hate-fueled Second Amendment gutting, rot gut Biden administration, which thank God is gone. And yet again, just another opportunity for them to screw you with tax dollars. We'll be back with Lee, get a couple more questions answered. We'll move on from there. We'll be right back. Anything you say can and will be used against you now. What's up, guys? Back at you.
Go. Sorry.
All right. Back at you. 6 Sauer Studios fired up for you. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom here in the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center Studios. Command Center microphone lit up for you. Always fun here at the ranch to be with you. X Insurance brings it all to you. Please make sure to go out of your way and visit all of our partners at armedamericanradio.com. That Barrel Buddy, we got a good promotion coming up for you here in the next 30 days. We're having a meeting about that at the end of this week, and when I know everything, I'll let you know. You'll be the first to know. Winner's going to love the takeaway on that one. And speaking of promotions, Daniel Defense, the Icebreaker rifle, there's only one of them left. If you haven't seen this thing, it's an absolute beauty. I would love to have it, but I'm not going to enter because I want somebody else. I don't win that stuff. I just don't get that lucky. And I don't want to be that lucky this time. I want a listener to win this thing. It's absolutely beautiful. Several $1,000s, but to get involved on the promotion, folks, you got to visit DanielDefense.com and jump over there, give me your email address, and get on that list and see if you can win this thing. I would love to find out that an Armed American Radio listener won the Daniel Defense giveaway. Don't forget to check out the H9 over there, and also fill your guns with ammosquared.com. I got my notice today. Your payment is cleared, and I will have a notice tomorrow that I have more ammo in my account. It just keeps building and building and building. ammosquared.com. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back, brother. So I guess my closing questions on this debacle at Fort Devon would be this. And to some of you, it might not seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal. Because this, of all the anti-gun stuff that we've been talking about over the past 4 years that went on really under the radar, a lot of it above the radar because we know about it, but this is the stuff under the radar, Lee, that we're not familiar with, and there's got to be a lot more of this going on. Do you suggest, because I do, that this was just another way to screw taxpayers and to go after gun rights at the federal level under the radar from a Biden administration? Is that the way? Am I viewing this properly, or is it just, am I too cynical at this point?
100%. I mean, it turns out these guys didn't even have a chance at the win. According to court writings, these guys croaked themselves with their lack of administrative records. A range officer filled out a memo for the record admitting that they kept no maintenance, supply, or repair records. That was one of the most egregious abuses. They couldn't even say in there that these clubs cost them a dime. Of course, the club detailed everything ad nauseum in a memorandum. They just destroyed them.
Okay, so there's more of this out there.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to hear about it? I mean, the creative ways this administration, you got to hand it, man. Sometimes you got to hand them their due when it's due. But their creativity knows no bounds, Lee. They keep getting more creative by the minute, and I just wonder how much more of this is out there that we will never know about, and I can only hope. I mean, is this something that Bondi's DOJ would have found out about, or somebody would have found out about? Maybe it would have taken Doge to figure this out. Maybe it's not in the DOJ's wheelhouse. Maybe they were clueless about it. It wouldn't even show up in a report for Bondi. Who knows? Because it's just flying so low under the radar.
Exactly. That's exactly it. I mean, you're talking $1,000 every time they go out there. These guys right now, they can't go out on weekends to shoot because the club says, oh, well, that's our 9/11, post 9/11 plan. I mean, they're screwing the club over badly. It's a great club. Leave them alone. Let them come out there. They clean up the ranges, for gosh sakes.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. There's more of it out there, ladies and gentlemen, and sadly, we're probably not going to hear about a lot of it. Hopefully we do. Even with the transparency going on in the Trump administration right now that's driving the Democrats absolutely bonkers. Our heads are popping like whitehead zits. I just don't know that we're going to hear it all. So I want to take you to Florida now, Lee. You're in Florida. There's a lot going on in Florida. People think of Florida as the gunshine state, but Florida's got a lot of work to do, making some great progress under DeSantis, particularly over the last 4 years of his last administration, his last term, no doubt. But that parkland bill still floats out there. 18 to 20-year-olds still can't carry. Open carry is still not the law of the land in the state of Florida like it is in 48 other states to some extent, which should be the law of the land in all 50 states because the Second Amendment is my open carry permit. But AWR is writing about this now. We'll give him some credit. Florida Senate Way's bill to allow defensive carry on college campuses. So this is another positive step in Florida. Is this something DeSantis was seeking as well? Because I'd not heard him say he wanted this desk on his bill, like he does a repeal of red flag and like he does a repeal of 18 to 20-year-olds being screwed out of their rights. Does he have his fingers in this pot? Is he down the hole on this one too?
I've never heard DeSantis personally say that this was his idea. So I doubt that. It's a great bill. It would be perfect. We need it. We need it. We don't need to be caught doing that illegally. So yeah, I think it's a great bill. It should pass. Will it? Gosh, I don't know. It's Florida, brother.
Yeah, this is Florida has a lot of work to do. And in a lot of cases, so goes Florida, so goes the rest of the country when it comes to gun rights. But that's not been necessarily true as much as it was going back to 87 when the permit scheme reared its head. And then constitutionally, we've come full circle on that with constitutional carry. And as you probably know, we got that bill moving in North Carolina right now where constitutional carry stands a very good chance of becoming the law in the great state of North Carolina. This is from State Rep Randy Fine. Do you know where Randy Fine is from in Florida? Of course, he's a Republican, not a Democrat. Ain't no Democrat in the world going to suggest campus carry. Do you know where Fine is from?
No, I do not. I do not.
I didn't look him up, but here's what he had to say, ladies and gentlemen. If you pay attention to this stuff, if you like to go into the weeds, the legislation is SB 814, and it's sponsored by State Representative Randy Fine. And from his press release, here's what it says. Adults should have the right to protect themselves on campus, particularly after so many universities across America chose to protect Muslim terror advocates over their own students. I like this guy already. There is no magic force field that keeps criminals from carrying a gun onto campus. This bill will ensure that students have the same rights on campus as they do off. And he added, the Second Amendment does not take the semester off when you step on a college campus. I love this. You know, we hear the Second Amendment, you know, you don't lose your Second Amendment rights because you cross state lines within a U.S. state, within the U.S. itself. The Second Amendment doesn't stop at the state border, and it shouldn't stop here either. So I like his play on words here. Fine told the College Fix, in a quote, this bill, there's no magic force field. This bill will ensure that students have the same rights on campus as they do off campus. So this is another positive step. There's a lot of movement in Florida right now. How many of these bills do you think can actually make it to DeSantis's desk? And regarding campus carry, we already know he'll sign open carry. We already know that he will sign, what was it? I'm losing my train of thought. That he would sign open carry. Oh, I'm sorry, the Parkland revisions. So he's going to sign that. He's already made that clear. Would he sign campus carry? I believe he would.
Yes, I guarantee he would. By the way, Representative Fine is from the 6th Congressional District, which is southern Brevard County. Yeah, I hope it can get to DeSantis. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We have too many rhino Republican lawmakers in the Florida Senate and in the Senate right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
You know, for whatever reason, they don't want the sight of pistols. I can carry a concealed firearm here. We just got to make this very clear. I can carry a concealed firearm here without a permit. It just can't be open. I cannot open carry in the state, and that's crazy.
Well, it is, and again, you have Tourism Bureau and everything else down there that's going to fight this tooth and nail. And where that happens, you have a lot of money, and that's why you have a lot of money. That's causing a problem. You follow the money in the politics, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find out where the problem is. And regarding the open carry situation in Florida, no doubt in my mind that it's money and rhinos. And you're thinking, man, these are Republicans. DeSantis wants this bill. Why won't they work with him? It's this, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Rub your fingers together. You know, that little motion you do when you're talking about money, dineros. That's what's going on here. When we come back, I'll read you a little quote from Campus Safety Magazine about where else you can carry, and then I'll give you a personal story because campus carry is legit here in the state of Georgia, and it was a hard-fought battle. I'm going to be honest with you. Campus carry is an uphill climb in many states, but it's one we can win. We can get to the top of the hill. We'll be right back. One more segment with Lee, the Gunwriter Williams.
This segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Daniel Defense. Visit DanielDefense.com. Now, back to the show.
Back to the show. Back to the show. Back to the show. You are back to the show. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today in the SIG SAUER studios in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphone, all brought to you by the great X Insurance. Make sure to check out all of our partners, ladies and gentlemen. Please do so. DefenderCoffee.com. Drink coffee in the mornings. Drink coffee that donates a portion of the profits to the Second Amendment Foundation or to the NRA or wherever else they're doing it now. Patriots Relief. If you need some relief in your arms, I got the delivery today. Yes, sir. Feeling a lot better. PatriotsRelief.com. Use the AAR promo code. Save 40% right out of the box. Don't forget Bud's Gun Shop. They have everything you need, and you need everything they have. Patriot Mobile, Emerson Knives. EmersonKnives.com. Promo code is AAR. HeavensHarvest.com. Emergency food supplies. If you're going to be doing any camping or any outdoor activities this year, don't want to bring a bunch of food, 15-minute heat in the bag, delicious meals, 2,000 calories, anywhere from 1,300 to 2,500 calories to keep you fueled up. And they're cheap, and they're great. We've eaten them here at the ranch. We've tested them. They're fantastic. No water necessary, no nothing. And you can feed your addiction to goat guns by visiting goatguns.com, goatguns.com. And for about $39, you can put together these realistic little miniature guns, your favorite guns. They've got them there. And start stacking them up, baby, because they are a lot of fun and they make great gifts. Don't forget the Green Huntsman, North American Arms, all the fine guns over at North American Arms. MyPillow.com for great products. AAR is the promo code. You get the idea. It's all there at ArmedAmericanRadio.com. We got a couple more for you coming up here in the next couple weeks as well. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back. My brother from another mother. Let's go back to Florida again, briefly, because as I thought about this a little bit during the break, I'm not convinced, and I hate to say this to you, Lee. I hate to say this.
Okay.
I'm not convinced any of them are going to get to his desk yet. I mean, there are some great signs. The fact that DeSantis, and I say he, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about some of these pro-gun bills moving in Florida. That's why I want to go back to this briefly, because the more I got to thinking about this, you know, DeSantis is termed, all right? The stalwart rhinos in the Senate know that. We were talking about following the money. Somebody's paying them. Probably the same people that paid Kay Ivey, and you wrote about it, to make something illegaler than it already was illegal. In the great state of Alabama, you follow the money at this stuff. I don't know that we'll ever be able to do that, but I can give an educated guess out there that there's campaign money somewhere involved in this stuff. And the fact that DeSantis wants it being termed out, does he have the clout, Lee, that he did if we knew he was going to win another term?
No, unfortunately he doesn't. And he's seeing some pushback at the state level. Obviously, he wanted his wife to run for governor to replace him. Yeah. But Trump kind of handled that. He's got his own pick for somebody to run for governor.
You're talking about Byron?
Will probably do will do very well. So I think Ron is on his way out. He was a great governor, great for the Second Amendment. And I kind of hate to see what's happening to him. But, you know, then again.
Well, that's politics, guys.
See what Byron does. Yeah.
I mean, that's just politics. We deal with it every election, every cycle. And, you know, we're cynics on this side, and we're impatient. We want everything now because we've been so screwed for so long. That's why we want the ATF gonzo, right? But that's going to take an act of Congress. It's why we want open carry in state like Florida that doesn't have it. You know, you want it in any state that doesn't have it. But nonetheless, you know, now you turn to Colorado, for example. I got to go here because Colorado House just passed a semi-automatic firearm ban. That report is out now. It passed yesterday. That bill is going to hit the governor's desk. Sadly, I'm afraid it's going to hit the governor's desk. And, you know, there's some groups out there doing amazing work. We're going to talk with some reps from Colorado later this week or early next week about this as this continues on, Lee. But as we said before at Trump's election, this fight's going statewide. And, man, oh, man, were we right about that. They're dumping money. We were talking about the Wisconsin State Supreme Court battle going on there. The liberals are doing everything they can to try to take back quote-unquote swing states. They're not doing themselves any favors with these idiots like AOC. Bernie Sanders want to fight the oligarchy. And this Jasmine Crockett moron. You know, I hope they keep moving left, but this is where the money is going from groups like Everytown and Giffords, et cetera. Tell me I'm wrong, please.
No, you're 100%. They know they're not going to get anywhere with President Trump nationally. So they're bringing it all back to the states, man, and it's sad and sickening.
Yeah, well, again, it's just, it is, and it's politics, and it's going to get ugly at the state level. You know who comedian Rob Schneider is?
Oh, yeah.
I guess he was popular in that movie, The Water Boy. He's been in a lot of stuff, but a lot of people will remember him from that, and AWR pointed to that. But he posted a photo on X yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. It was kind of neat. I got the heads up from AWR Hawkins from Breitbart News on this, ladies and gentlemen. And he wrote about it, but he was holding up an AR-15. Cerakote finish in a red, white, and blue American flag, right? And he's got like a skull cap on or something and his big glasses. And he says in there, that the AR-15, he described it as his anti-Tesla protection device.
I saw it.
Did you see that?
I didn't recognize him right at first, but yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, and what's cool is he said, I got my anti-Tesla arson protection device available now, so we'll go ahead and throw it out to Nemo Arms. I've been there. Get yours at Nemo Arms and Scottsdale Tactical. And there he is in front of a cabinet with a lot of guns, and he's got his, and he loves his. And it's he's got a little moniker on it. You can do it on the magazine down there. But and it's Idaho-based, Nemo Arms. Forgive me, I was not there. I was thinking Scottsdale Gun Club, Scottsdale. My brain defaulted to Arizona. But Idaho-based Nemo Arms posted an article about their CEO, Bill King's chance encounter with Schneider in an airport. After a few minutes of conversation, we found out Rob is a huge 2A advocate and was interested in purchasing a few firearms. So their rifle builder, Mark Wood, went to work, and along with Mark, designed and built the rifle for him. But, you know, somebody out there is going to say, Lee, it's a ghost gun, even though it's not a ghost gun.
No, it's not. And you know what? There's nothing wrong. I've got 3 of them that I built from online parts.
Do they wake you up in the middle of the night howling with the wind? Ooh, you're a ghost gun?
Nothing wrong with a gun with no serial number. That's the way they used to make them.
Well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that Paul Revere didn't have a serial number on his sidearm?
No, I don't think he did, bro. I don't think he did.
And horseback, he didn't have to put his gun in a satchel bag when he went into a Democrat-run state during the day? When he was riding?
No, I'm pretty sure he was immune from that.
He probably felt the Constitution was his carry permit, I would guess. Isn't that the way they all felt?
Yes, sir. I'm thinking that. I don't think these guys cared about doing some time in jail.
They all made their own guns. Yeah. Now, imagine them rolling over today. Did you make that? No. Oh, it's being made by this big company now. Oh, that's wonderful. What do you mean you have to have a serial number on it? Why do they call it a ghost gun? Can you imagine waking them up and having a conversation with them today? Wouldn't it be wonderful? Oh, gosh. Lee, I love you, man. Tell people where they can find all your very cool stuff, because you break just groundbreaking stuff. A true investigative journalist, ladies and gentlemen. Lee the Gunwriter Williams.
They can go to armedamericannews.org or .com. Substack, or thegunwriter.substack.com or saf.org.
And Lee is, of course, the lead investigative journalist at the Second Amendment Foundation. Lee, we love you. Thanks for everything that you do. Armed American Radio is going to get up and do it again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is garbage day at the ranch, so until we meet on the radio tomorrow, carry on, carry off, and carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught without his club. See you tomorrow on the radio.
All clear.
Roger that, bud. All right, guys, we're going to cut this tape off for you now, and we'll see you tomorrow.